Well, he's been identified, as, one of two prospects, for months. And, there are a lot of voices, in a decision like this, right? I've got a voice, Michael has a voice, we have, some new ownership. Buzz has a big voice. So it takes a while to vet out, all your opinions as a group, to discuss, have spirited conversations. I think that's good. I welcome, somebody else's viewpoint, maybe something I didn't notice or I didn't think about. I think Michael, and I mentioned this earlier, I think in years past he's done that on purpose with me. Even though he knew who I might want to draft, he would always at the 11th hour come in and say, well, Mitch, did you ever think about this guy? I like this guy. And it took me a couple of years to figure out that he didn't really like that guy. Okay, he just wanted to create dialogue, to get me talking, right? So I welcome that. And then as a group, we did have, as I mentioned, with some new voices. I mean, that can't be denied. There are going to be new voices going forward, right? At the end of the day, Michael makes the decision. He points at me and he allows me to make this decision, and he gives me the authority to make that decision. Of course, going forward, that will change, right, at some point. But that's how it was this past week. Michael came in, I believe, on Monday. So he was in the office, and then the new owners came in. One came in, one left. The other one came in and stayed, then the other one came back. And it all resulted in a group, discussion. And pretty much as of Wednesday night, it was over, the discussion. No, I've not been, through something like this before. In Los Angeles, well, I guess maybe in Los Angeles, there was a transition from one owner to family members. A little bit different. And then, of course, coming here, having Michael for 5 years and now making a transition. So, yeah, it's somewhat, familiar, but somewhat uncharted territory. My understanding is that they don't plan to make any changes. Nothing's changing, and I have to get to learn how to work with a new person or new people, right? And so, that'll take some time. And with Michael, I had a good rhythm. I knew when to call him. I knew when not to call him. I knew when he was available. You send him a text, you get a text back within seconds. Every morning when I would text him and say, do you have a few minutes to talk? The response was yes right away. And then we would talk in the morning, whether it was 10 minutes or an hour, right? So you develop a rhythm. And that's, what's going to have to take place with the new owners at some point. And it was good that they were here this week because, although one of them has been a part owner for several years, did not have much contact with him, but I did know him. And then with Rick being around this week, that gave me a chance to become more, familiar with him. So it's a process. I feel I can work with anybody, and I'm just trying to get this team, continue with our goal, right? To build something that's sustainable, not just win or get into the playoffs once. We want to advance, and I do want to see that through.